Hello, in this C program video, I am gonna show you nested loops. So if you haven't watched my videos on loops, for loop, while loop, do while loop, highly recommend that you go ahead and do that. And also check out my video on nested if statements and nested switch statements because the process and the principle is very similar. Nested loop, you have a loop inside of a loop. You could have a for loop inside of a for loop. You could have a while loop inside of another while loop, do while inside of a another do while. But you can mix and match. You could have a while inside of a for, a do while inside of a while, whatever. And you could have multiple nests. So you could have, let's say, a while in a for in another for, and then a for in a while, for example. That's like 4 levels. But general practices shouldn't really be going probably more than 2-3 levels because it just gets hard to manage and read. But there really is no limit of how many nests you can have. So let me do this. What I'm going to do is do for, and I'm going to do int I equal to 0 whilst I is less than 100. We'll say I plus plus, and we can print that out. But what we're going to do now is we're going to, let's say if we have a range of numbers that we want to go through. So let's say for int j. So j is another very popular one. You have stuff like ijk or xyz, for example. And let's say if we do this equal to 35. Let's say 35, 15, and I'm going to say j less than, let's say, 40, j plus plus. And what we're going to say is we want to check which numbers in the j range, so which is 15 to, let's say, less than or equal to 40, are essentially factors of let's say I is evenly divisible by one of the j's. So what we can say is printf, and we'll say percent I. So that's going to be, so that's going to be I is divisible. It'd be evenly divisible because everything's divisible if you're going to decimals, is divisible by this percent I, which is j. And then we need to do the check. So we're going to say if, and if it's divisible if the remainder is 0. So if we say if I modulus, which gets the remainder, j is equal to 0, then we do this. So let's give it a run, give it a print, let's see what we get. Probably best if I have a backslash n, and then to separate it out a bit more, I'll have another backslash n here. Okay, so let's see what we get. 0 is evenly divisible by, okay, so 0, 1, obviously we don't want to start at 0. We could change that. Let's say it starts at 1. Okay, so let's see what we get now. So it starts at 15, naturally. 15 is evenly divisible by 15, 16 by 16, etc. But it gets really interesting when you get to sort of like the bigger numbers. Let's say 80. 80 is evenly divisible by 16. Oh yeah, it is. 16 times 5, yes. And then 20 times 4, 40 times 2. So that's a for loop inside of a for loop. But like I said, you can mix and match as you please. That's just nested loops. Really useful, especially if you start getting into arrays and you want to go over a bunch of 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional data, especially let's say maps for a game, let's say a 2D map, and you want to check every single space. and see maybe if the players landed there or the status of each block. So that's Nested Loops. If you have any questions, feel free to join the Discord group and post in the programming channel, link in the description. Hopefully you've been enjoying the programming and crypto and just in general tips and tricks shorts that I've been doing. There'll be plenty more of them coming. Don't worry, I'm not going to forget the core content like this as well. I'm going to be doing this as well. So happy new year and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.